Galactic Threat Assessment, Council Entry 4417, Species, Homo sapiens, Designation, Non-threatening. They reached this conclusion in under 4 minutes. No claws, no venom, no natural armor, soft skin, fragile joints, and reflexes that were sluggish compared to the galaxy's apex species. Humans were officially classified as adaptive prey, as the verdict echoed across 1,000 star systems. The council chamber dimmed. A single, confident pronouncement was made. They will submit or scatter. With that, the council moved on to other matters. That was their first mistake. The invasion began quietly. It wasn't the kind of planetary annihilation you see in holodramous humans, simply were UNT worth that level of expense. This was just an occupation. Skyhooks anchored themselves over major cities, their colossal forms blotting out the sun. Drones replaced the constellations at night. Human trade routes were seized, and resources were extracted with cold efficiency. And the humans, they didn't charge into battle. They didn't stage a heroic, doomed rebellion. They just retreated. Alien observers recorded their own confusion. In his field log, Commander Zalrith noted, "The humans abandoned territory without any resistance. Civilians are relocating to underground shelters. We've detected no counterattack." The observers watched as humans dismantled their own cities. They witnessed them burning their own data centers, erasing centuries of knowledge. They flooded their own subterranean tunnels, turning potential shelters into watery tombs. To the invaders, it looked like sheer terror. It looked like a complete and utter surrender. The council, reviewing these reports, updated the human file with a single, dismissive line: "Psychological collapse detected." That was their second mistake. Weeks passed, then months. The expected resistance never materialized. No human ships engaged the alien fleets. There were no formal declarations of war, no grand speeches. Their intelligence networks couldn't detect even a whisper of a resistance movement. Across the galaxy, the invading force began to relax. With no threat to worry about, supply lines were stretched thinner and thinner. Outposts reduced their guard rotations, reassigning soldiers to more prestigious postings elsewhere. The occupation of Earth became a boring, backwater assignment. And the humans, they watched. They watched from deep within mountain caves. They watched from settlements on the ocean floor. They watched from dead satellites, drifting silently through the orbital debris fields. They were mapping patrol routes. They were timing shift changes. They were learning the habits, the routines, and the protocols of their occupiers. An alien soldier, on a lonely patrol, noted something strange in a private log entry. Humans don't scream when they recaptured. They just ask questions. Quietly. That log was never submitted to his superiors. The first human counteraction wasn't a glorious attack. It was a simple failure. An orbital communications relay went dark. There was no explosion, no detectable signature of sabotage. It just stopped working. Then another went silent, and then 5 more, each failing in a completely different, inexplicable way. Alien engineers began to panic. One frantic report read, "The malfunctions appeared to be entirely unrelated. We're seeing causes ranging from critical overheating to logic recursion loops, and human language paradoxes embedded deep within the command code." Humans didn't jam the alien systems. They confused them. They overloaded them with nonsense until the machines tied themselves in knots. By the time the invaders realized what was happening, entire supply fleets were arriving at empty coordinates, their destinations having vanished from the network. Outposts began to starve. Still, there was no direct human assault. The council, ever arrogant, insisted, "This is a coincidence. A non-hostile species cannot coordinate on this scale." That was their third mistake. The first real attack happened at dawn. It didn't come from a mighty war fleet. It came with perfect, calculated timing. A single human mining vessel, obsolete, and presumed derelict, drifted slowly into a restricted military zone. The sentry ships ignored it, classifying it as harmless space junk. Then it detonated, not with a fiery explosion, but with a sudden, violent, gravitational pulse. It was a localized distortion, just powerful enough to pull 3 alien cruisers out of their tight formation, their shields flickering as their navigators fought for control. And that was enough. Enough for the humans who were waiting in the dark. They struck the supply ships. Never the warships. They targeted fuel tankers, food freighters, and communication hubs. Humans never fought fair. They fought smart. In a panicked battleog, Commander Zalrith wrote, "The humans disengage immediately after striking. Pursuit is impossible. They vanish into debris fields and asteroid clusters before we can even begin retaliation." The Council, furious, demanded an immediate escalation. But this time the commanders on the front line hesitated, because for the first time, they understood. Humans weren't fighting. They were hunting. The aliens, desperate to regain control, finally lured the humans into a trap. They broadcast a false distress signal from a remote sector, coupled with a fake refugee convoy. It was the perfect bait, designed to appeal to the humans' documented altruism. And the humans arrived, exactly as predicted. What the aliens didn't predict was that the humans arrived, knowing it was a trap. The moment the human ships entered the ambush zone, the entire area detonated. But it wasn't the aliens' minds. It was the humans. They had triggered them in a precise, pre-planned sequence. The explosions weren't meant to destroy ships. They were meant to funnel them, to push and herd the powerful alien fleet into a narrow, treacherous corridor of space. And there, human ships were tada, primitive, mismatched collection of freighters, miners, and antique warships. They were terrifyingly coordinated. They didn't outgun the aliens. They outhought them. Commander Zalrith's final log entry was transmitted just before his ship went dark. Humans exploit every rule we follow. They weaponize patience. They do not seek victory, they only seek advantage. The alien fleet, battered and broken, were through. For the first time in recorded galactic history, an invading force was in full retreat. The Galactic Threat Assessment Council reconvened in stunned silence. The file for Homo sapiens was reopened. The old designation was struck through with a frantic red line. A new one was entered. No longer Now, they were classified as a strategic predator. A final note was added to the permanent archive, a warning for all future generations. Humans do not fight fair. They fight to win, and they always return.